G'day guys and gals. So before we get into the video, if you do enjoy the content or it does help you out, can you please like and subscribe because it really helps my little baby channel grow. Alrighty, WD-EX-7 challenge mode. This map's quite difficult just because of the extra condition, which is that the drones, the attack drones, have increased area and attack. It's mainly the area, the range that really hurts you, but it's also that the drones tend to just zip over to where they've got to go, so it can be quite tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and dance around that. Now, I have got Durnar there, but I'm not going to be using her. She's just sort of floating about. Courier and Scavenger we will be using. Gummy we will be using. Suzerain and Gavial we will be using. Suzuro's kind of just opting as a backup healer. In fact, I don't actually even want to use Suzerain. I want to use Myr. Because while I was sorting this out, Suzerain really just wasn't holding her own, so we're going to use Myr instead. Utage with her deploy skill. Yafyala, so I've got a 6-star. She's going to be using Volcano. And I will explain why once we get into it. Armia with skill 2, you can use skill 1 if you want, or you could bring a AoE arts dealer. Haze works quite well also. Just make sure it's arts damage that you're using. So single target arts preferably, but as I say, that's entirely up to you guys, how you want to work that out. I've lost my Haze. I think she's down here in the 30s. There she is, so bring along Haze. Probably stick to skill 1, though, because if you, for whatever reason, get your deployment order wrong, or something just takes a large amount of offense to Haze while that skill's running, she will die, so just bear that one in mind. I believe I said gravel, so a fast redeploy and a couple of throwaway ranged operators. Cheaper the better, but it's up to you. They don't actually have to be snipers. Like, you can bring scroll all the way back through. So you can bring Durin. Just make sure they're ranged, so you can pop them up on ranged tiles. That's what's important. I'm using Cruz just because hopefully she can do a little bit of damage, but if she does, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. The enemies that you will be throwing them against, though, are weak to physical, so it's probably worth bringing snipers over casters, but whatever you've got laying around. Alrighty, so come on, let's go. So we're going to deploy in our 2 vanguards. So I'm going to pop in Courier here, fast forward this, and pop in Scavenger just here, facing down. Going to let this play itself out. Pop in Yafyala, just here facing across to the right. Next turn is going to be Armia facing down. Gavial will be our next in, so our healer. And she's going to be over here, facing across to the right. And that pretty much sorts out our initial entry phase. Now, Armia will inevitably kill this enemy, so I'm not too fussed about that, the shield enemy. So what I'm going to do is I am going to... I might actually hold off on that enemy for now. So I'll just fast forward this. Save up some deployment points. I will pop in, not Durnar, because I said I wasn't using Durnar. Pop in Gummy here at this T-junction. There goes that enemy. So this is where I'm going to be using Utage. We have our first enemy. Yep. all the way up here. So we're just going to wait till this guy starts wandering along. And then we're going to deploy Utage to catch him and hopefully kill him. We're also blocking this flow of enemies with Utage. I'm going to let her hang around. I don't think she'll live. No, she hasn't. So, now, here's this enemy here who is going to be a real pain in the neck. I can't put Cruz there because she'll get killed. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. I was going to wait until that drone came out, but it's already getting hammered by Armia. So, I'm going to use Yafyela's skill to get this enemy down. Now, that's the reason we're using Yafyela, because if this enemy gets into our mix of units, the extra range of the drones he'll pull into combat is just going to make an absolute mess of everything, and we don't want that. So, fast forwarding again, because we don't need to do anything for a little while. So, here's our first enemy. Cruz is attacking him. No worries, that drone's now out of the way. Now, you'll notice that I've left Courier behind here. Courier's a 2-block. He's quite tanky, so that's fine. So, here we go, some more enemies. So what we're going to do is we are going to use Rangers to bait this one. And I'm going to use Mer to bait this one. Pull Mer out. One more, which I'll be using Gravel for. So that's done. Pull him out. Her out, sorry. So it's really just dancing those operators around. That's all there is to it. So here's our next enemy, our next big enemy. So we're just going to wait for Yafyela's skill to cycle. Curry is tanking some stuff, which is great. That means that Yafyela is going to get the absolute most out of her skill. We've got another guy over here. So what we are going to do... Nope, Yafyela's got him, so that's alright. I was waiting for Cruz to come back through, but that's alright. So he's gone down. We've got another ranged one over here, so much of the same. Cruz in. Bait the drone. And that's it. Nice and simple. I suppose it's simple when you bring Yafyela, but that's okay. But nothing too stressful. Now, you're probably asking why I bring Mer when I just use her as a bait. The bottom line is Mer has a talent which heals on deploy, so even though I'm just using her as bait, by deploying her, I inevitably heal everybody on the field, which, you know, there's no downside to doing that. And even if she lives long enough to throw a heal onto someone, you know, that's better than nothing, really, isn't it? So that's the reasoning behind that. But that's it. So if you've got a mate with Yafyela skill 3, now's the time to grab it, and off we go. So I hope that helps, guys. As I said at the beginning, if it helped out, like, subscribe, and I hope to catch you guys for the next one.